Welcome back, gentlemen. Just got done with work, hopped off the train, and in the car driving home, guys. And let me tell you guys, the policemen are working today. This is already second day I saw them give out a speeding ticket. So I don't know what it is, but they're out here catching people. So just a little friendly reminder, obey the law and stay away from trouble and unnecessary financial consequences. But anyways, guys, had a good day at work. Didn't get to do too much of my stuff while there. It was pretty busy. Had a lot to accomplish today. But there were some things I did think about while on the train. And it's all about goal setting. And if we really analyze goals, goals are the difference of your goal happening and not happening is it's very simple when you take a more of a observer viewpoint on it. And from your dream to coming to reality, it's a mixture of factors. It's basically uh, goal setting, creating routine, and they call it systems, but having a technique for you, a personalized technique that works for you, that allows you to accomplish your goals and your routine over and over and over. And a lot of people don't actually just know that. It's like we have been accustomed to uh let people talk about their dreams but never call them out on, okay, so what are you doing to get there? What's your plan? And they kind of freeze up, like, oh, why are you putting me on the spot? It's like, well, you're talking about your dreams and your goals so much. What are you actively doing to actually pursue that? And you almost feel like you insulted them, right? And it's funny because I remember when I was maybe in middle school, I was a young kid. Of course, I was young. And I remember I was riding out with my dad, and I met one of his coworkers. He used to work in the body shop, and he was a older Armenian dude. I was talking to him, and he asked me, "Okay, so what are your goals? What are your dreams?" And I said, I started saying, "Oh, I want to be a big businessman, and I want to own a lot of companies, blah 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 blah." Right? And I think he was the first one. I think he's the first one to like burst my bubble. I was like, well, those are big dreams, but you're gonna have to work. He basically said, like, what are you doing now to like make that happen? And I think that was the first time that caught where it's like, oh, you're just talking to talk. Trying to talk to get another person to look at you like, oh, you're the big deal. But we allow people to do it, but there has to be some form of like, hey, okay, that those are great goals, but have you achieved any intermediate goals that build up for you to actually attain it? And it's a no. It's like people want to own a business, but they never looked up how, and they've been saying it for the last few months or years, and it's like, okay, do something about it. Because when you're an actual friend, like a good friend, and your friend talks about it, and you ask, well, like, call them out on it, like, hey bro, I just noticed that you've been saying this for the last 3 months. Have you done anything to work towards it? And you gotta come out of love and put them straight. It's like, hey man, like, if you talk about this all the time, or when you do, you get excited about it, but you're not following through. And that's a real friend. A real friend will call out another man, like another dude's, talk. I'm not seeing you walking, bro. And that's a friend. Friends are not enablers that, allow you to do stupid things, right? They make room for it, right? But at the end of the day, the good friend is going to let you, talk your talk, but then always be there to say, like, hey, but I want to see action. And those are good friends. But basically what I'm saying, guys, is you got to start walking the talk. Because if you talk about the walk all the time, it's going to become more embarrassing that you spoke so much of it to everybody around you, and you didn't even give a try, not even an attempt. And this is why it's good to sometimes keep your dreams to yourself and just take action. Because when you let a lot of people know, then there's this weird societal relationship like energy that you're like, oh, people are like aware of it. Are they gonna know I'm gonna fail or not? And when you keep it more secret, there's more independency. There's more freedom of expression, where if you say that I'm gonna do this, you don't gotta explain to them later why you pivoted and went in that direction, right? It's the same thing when people talk about like negatively about their relationships with other people, and then they hash it out, they reconcile, and then they go back to the other people who they spoke negatively about the relationship, and they're like, oh, why are you with them? Or like, why are you all chill with them now? Well, it's because they worked it out. Sometimes it's better just to keep it between you and your partner and not talk around, because then everybody's looking at it as like you're two-faced, or like they don't know all the details. So it's the same way when it comes to your dreams. You don't want to expose it to everybody where everyone has an opinion. And sometimes, guys, someone may bring so much negativity to it that it will derail you. It will completely destroy all of your not even like desire for it. And that's something you don't also want to do. So I think it takes has to be a level of discernment of who you're opening up to, because some people, through their life they didn't succeed, and they have become very pessimistic, or they never chased after their dreams and they're very bitter about it, and they might take it out on you about talking about your dreams. And other times, the people who failed or never gave themselves a chance to go after their dreams might be the most supportive, because they're like, hey, I never got the chance. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just saying that for themselves, but they might say, and some people didn't, right? They got caught up with work, loans, payments, raising a family, grandparents, life can hit you real hard real fast, and before you know it, you're in a deep hole, and it's difficult to get out of. So it's just, they can become the most supportive when they live their life and realize, hey, it's very important. And talking through the older people, talking to others, where they share their regrets of saying, I wish I really did this and this and that. And why listening to older people who desire to see, their younger generation thrive, they're going to say, hey, you got to take action. Like, don't talk, you need to do it. Because they know the heaviness, the weight that it bore on their life, and the things it bore on friends and family that they know around the age, where they just squandered the chance. It's over. It's not there anymore. And that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm definitely, my goal is I'm definitely entering into my 30s at the most successful, fittest, healthiest in all aspects in my life. I'm putting it all under, I'm subduing it, I'm taking dominion, and I'm gonna bring it up to excellence, that it's gonna be continuously improving my whole life. And that's just the mindset I have adopted, and we're gonna do it. So, and I like this new word we learned, resolve. Making the decision that you're just not gonna quit until it's completed, right? Until the objective or the goal is just done. It's like, we don't understand quitting. We can adjust the plans, because we realize like something's not working out. That's all part of the journey. Because sometimes God will show you this shiny thing, and you're going to go that direction, and then, because you can't see the bigger picture yet, but once you get closer to that object, your mind opens up to the bigger plan, and you're like, ooh, I like that more. I like that. So that also happens too. So, and another one I was thinking about is, through my life and reflecting, is the people or the person that brought the biggest emotional wound in your life. ends up being the person that makes you the strongest. Funny how that works out. But especially if you're able to overcome it with God, that would be you. That will be you. That will become your training ground of actually making you a very, very strong person. So it is through our pains and tribulations and resistance that, makes us really grow. And I was just pondering about that, the people that really like hurt us, or maybe because we had maybe invalid expectations or perceptions and just ideas of life, that we punctured ourselves in it, because we just had different viewpoints and there was miscommunication. But other times, yeah, the other person objectively hurt you, consciously or unconsciously, but either way the pain has been experienced. And God uses this pain. God can use this pain. It's not always God's will for people to go through pain. It's not. But God is able to use the pain that you went through to create a person that very much will become a healer for those that went through it. When you overcome certain pains, you have this level of empathy towards those who are going through it, where you can really speak deep into their soul, right? I went through struggles, you went through struggles. Everyone has a certain mix, a spectrum of struggles. And instead of figuring out, oh, I wish I can be like them, or I can, talk like them, or I can heal like them, right? What you got to recognize is that was them overcoming a certain set of pain, hurt, rejection, that allowed them to overcome it and be able to express themselves in a way where they're healing people from the mindset that they're able to share with those who went through the same journey. And the same way, like, you might be going through your hardship, you might be going through a difficult struggle that you feel like no one understands you, and you're able to overcome it, and you definitely will, especially if you're praying, asking God, heal me in this area of my life, I need your help. The Holy Spirit will get to work and will heal you, restore you, and that will make you a weapon in the hands of God, to not a weapon, but you know what, a weapon to really destroy the hurt and the pain that other people are going through the wisdom that you're able to offer. And that is shining your light, guys, right? Pain can also be cultivated into deep compassion for people. And interestingly enough, right, the healing power, God power, moves through empathy. It moves through compassion. It doesn't move through judgment. It doesn't move through jealousy, envy, or insecurity. It don't move. It's not a conduit. Forgiveness, mercy, grace, right? Compassion, kindness, sympathy, empathy. The loving power of God moves through that, right? And interesting enough, right? Look what happened to our Savior, right? He was stripped, humiliated, rejected, displayed as a beaten man. His beard was ripped off to symbolize the removal of his masculinity. He was spat on. He was mocked. He was rejected by his own people. Everything that a human experiences, Christ went through it. So we don't have a God, right, that doesn't understand our pain. Every other fictitious God in the world, they never came down and experienced the human pain as we do. But our God, the true God, right, came down and experienced the worst of the worst. Why? Is because he's our high priest. He went through the pain, the loss, the rejection, the humiliation. Why? So that he can empathize with us. And through that empathy, he's able to pour his love out. So don't feel like God doesn't understand you. Understand that you have a God that can understand you. He's not chilling in his heaven while people are on earth in misery, like, other gods, right? They're telling you get better, but Christ came down and taught us a way and healed us through faith. and taught us who we truly are, and through that revelation we are made whole and reconciled ourselves with God. So if you're going through hardships, if you're going through pain, like emotionally crushing pain to the point where it's almost difficult to even cry out to God, sometimes all you have to do is kneel on the floor and just close your eyes and just surrender. And you don't gotta say anything. You don't. Just close your eyes and surrender, and just your quiet, your silence will do enough speaking. And just sit there for 5 minutes in silence, and you will feel his presence. He will come to you. And I guarantee you that you will have a experience that you'll never forget. Just kneel down and shut your mouth and surrender, and just have your heart open. I need you to help me. And our loving God, who's our mighty servant as well, will come to your aid. So we'll end it there. Just pulled up to home. Got some tasks to attend to. But as always, guys, live life with intention. Take action. Take action. Take action. And always pray, and always talk with God. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. And you guys have a good night. God bless.